through the lens of Hindustani classical music. And if there are some people who know Carnatic music as well, they can share their views at the end of my lecture as well. And 1 minute. Yeah, so they can share at the end of the discussion as well. And so when I'm giving lecture, if you can raise your hand and you can give up your opinion on the same thing as well, or if I go wrong somewhere. So it's basically open discussion sort of thing. Okay, so okay, so yeah, I'll start with a song, a simple Bhavagite from Kannada, and to explain more into the raga. Okay. Hope I'm audible. Just am I audible? Like, is the vocals and
yes, you're clearly audible.
Mattade besara ade sanje ade kanta mattade besara ade sanje ade kanta ನಿನ್ನ ಜೊತೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಮಾತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಮನ ವಿಭ್ರಾಂತ ಮತ್ತದೆ ಬೇಸರ ಅರೆ ಸಂಜೆ ಅದೇ ಕಾಂತ. Yeah. So this was my take on the song Mattade Besara, Bhavagite in Kannada. This song, so if you go on technical details of it, it's in Rag Yaman. So when I say Rag Yaman, what is Rag? So when I say this song or this piece is of Rag Yaman, so there are two things. Basically, what is Rag and what is Yaman, right? So let me talk about what is a Rag basically. Then I'll move on to Yaman. Okay. So Rag is a very familiar concept within people who know you might have Rag at least once in your lifetime, right? So it's a very familiar concept in Indian classical music. And when we sort of look its equivalents in Western classical music, it's very, very similar to scales. Okay, so the people who have, I'll be also giving you analogies in Western as well, so the people who have learned Western can relate well as well. So, so raga is a concept which is very, very similar to scale, but it's a bit different as well. Okay, but while we form a raga, there are some set of rules which we follow. Okay, I'll be telling you all those rules now. So main rule, the one rule is that you'll have basically a set of notes, and since there are 12 notes, in those 12 notes you will have a set of notes in a particular raga, and you should not go out of that boundary. So going out of the boundary is generally prohibited in pure classical music. And if you take some, if you go out of the that boundary, they are called vivadi swaras, or accidental notes, as you say. So it's generally avoided in Indian classical music, but if they are used just to beautify, they are called vivadi swaras. So let me talk about Rag Yaman again. So in Rag Yaman has 7 set of notes. It has sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, where ma is in its sharp, or ma is it's in variant form of its it's in a variant form. Okay, so I'll sing you basically the structure of just notes of the Yaman. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just, yeah, exactly, it's called Tivrama. Okay, I have a Walkman here. I'll just play that and I'll sing as well. So it's basically. So all these are in C, so you can note down as well. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. So this is a basic set line or boundary for Rag Yaman. Okay, but I said you that I have presented a like Mattade Besara, which is, but when you compare that with this set, it doesn't feel complete. Like that Saregama, you can't relate this Saregama to that song which I sang. So there comes the second set of rules for raga, which is each raga have particular chalan or particular way to, like, there is a particular way to sing each raga. Okay, so what chalan is? So chalan is basically how raga flows, or what are the key phrases which we use in that raga very much. Okay, so that's basically like called chalan. Okay, let me say about like few rules in the Rag Yaman. So what are the rules in Rag Yaman about the chalan? Okay, in Rag Yaman, we often tend to start the raga with ni instead of sa. So when we are singing, we don't often sing it like sa re ga ma pa. So we generally sing ni re ga ma pa da ni sa. So we don't sing sa re ga. So it's basically ni re ga. So that's how it goes. And another set of rule is Rag Yaman doesn't, like, when you're singing in ascending. So since all ragas have like ascending and descending, so that's basically scale, right? So you will have ascending and descending sort. So while going in an ascending way, you generally tend to omit pa. So if you are going, I'll demonstrate this again. So when you sing Yaman, it will be like ni re ga ma pa pa re. So it will come back again and it won't go. So if you want to go above pa, it should be like ni re ga ma da ni sa. So this is how you generally sing Yaman. So these are few rules, and so this is basically chalan of the rag. So if I consider chalan, so it will be like ni re ga ma da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. So this now is sounding bit similar to the like to the song which I sang, but it's not fully better. So this is like, so this is now defining, path or channel for the rag. Okay, so now have set the notes. Now have set the chalan as well. We'll talk very detailedly about these as well. Yeah, but I'll move on to the third rule as well. So this rule is very important, and it mainly, it keeps the Western. It's one of the main difference between Western music and Indian classical forms, because there are something called as gamakas or ornamentations basically. So these gamakas, or if you add this ornamentation to the raga, that gives the beauty of the whole raga. So simply, if I sing ni re ga ma da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. So instead of this, if I use there are two types. There are different kinds of gamakas as well, and in Hindustani and Carnatic music as well. So very often used gamakas in Hindustani music are kan swaras and need. So kan swara is basically you are just touching a note and then moving to the next. I'll tell you how that works as well. So it's basically, instead of saying ni re ga ma, you will go ni ga re. So it's ni re ga. So that's how kan swara works. It's ni ga re. So instead of that, instead of literally singing ga, you will sing ni re ga ma da ni sa. So here, what I did was, after the ni, I just included a small slide. Da ni. So these kind of things are called meaned in. So basically, I'll show you another demonstration as well. So as I said, after you go, when you sing pa, you should always come back, right? So how it goes is ni re ga ma pa re. So that's one of the very catchy key phrase in Yaman. So it's not just pa re. I'm not singing straight pa and re. So it's pa ma ga re. So instead of saying the whole thing, I'll just omit saying maga, but I'll say ni re ga ma pa re sa. So this increases the beauty of the raga in its whole, and with the set of notes, chalan, and with this ornamentation, these rules keep bounds to a raga, and they increase the beauty of the raga. So this is the system of ragas in Hindustani classical system. Okay, so I'll give you a demonstration of singing Yaman with that alaps and with this all instrument ornamentations as well. Ni da ni re sa ni re pa pa ma 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 ga pa ma ga re ga ma pa re ga re sa ni da ni re sa. So this is how this rag Yaman moves. Okay, so I have just introduced you to this world of ragas, where you have so many ragas, so many permutation combinations of notes. So we are humans and we are very good at classifying things. So when music system started, there weren't much classifications in music. So especially in Indian classical music, it was mostly oral. There weren't written history of the music, to be frank. So it used to pass through generations and generations, and there are different things called gharanas as well. What gharanas do is there are different places or different homes of music where they sing a different rag. They sing a same rag in different view. So I think if we can keep that on next session as well, but I'll just stick on to the classification part of raga. So I'll just talk about raga. So this classification, you can say that it's a bit of characteristics as well, but yeah, I'll list them one by one. Okay, so first I'll also talking in formal sense and informal sense. So first I'll cover all the formal kinds of classification we do, then we'll move on to the informal kind of classifications. So first classification is based on the number of notes in a raga. Okay, so how many notes can there be possible? So there should be minimum of 5 or maximum of 7. Okay, sometimes there will be more than 7 as well, but in general, we don't use chromatic scale. If you know what a chromatic scale is, basically all 12 notes. So we don't generally use them. So we'll have 3 based on that. So either it's 5, 6, or 7. So a raga, if it contains only 5 notes in ascending and descending, it's called as Audav. It's called as Audav Jati. The Jati of the raga is said to be Audav to be exact. If it's 5 and also 5. A very good example for this is Rag Bhu, which goes like this. Which is also called as Mohana in Carnatic music. So this is example for Audav Jati Rag. Then comes Shadav, which has 6 notes. Then Sampurna, which has 7 notes. So I think this is very familiar to pentatonic, hexatonic, heptatonic kind of thing. I'll also come why this is very similar to the Western kind of thing as well. But yeah, I'll keep that out to later part of my lectures. And yeah, so there can be chance that there can be 5 when you go up and 6, 7 when you come down, or there may be chance that you can go 6 in ascending and 7 in the descending. So these are called. So if you have 5 in ascending and 7 in descending, is basically Avadav Sampurna. Or if you have 6 in ascending and 7 in descending, it's Shadav Sampurna, something like that. Or if you have 5 and 6, you can call it as Avadav Shadav. So these are like few kinds of classification based on number of notes it have. Okay. Then we have something called based on time. Like we also classify ragas based on time they are sung on. So I'll send you a link as well. But I think the time thing, like nowadays you can know, like we don't, like most of people don't follow. But like the like what you can say is like time is not absolute thing. Like it doesn't mean that you should sing that particular raga in that particular time as well. So it's basically because that raga has an impact when you sing at that time. I'll come to that as well when I talk about rasa. So how is this time system divided? Okay, so we have a measure of time which is called as prahara. Prahara means it's a measure of time which is 3 hours to be precise. So when you take prahara, which is of 3 hours, you can divide, like if there are 24 hours in a day, then 24 by 3, basically like so wait. So like you can divide it into like different parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's nearly like there are like you have the crossovers as well. But I'll give an example. You might have heard of Rag Bhairav. So this Rag Bhairav is often sung in morning. It's called morning rag. Or better example is Bibhas. I'll just try to sing Bibhas. It's a pentatonic scale. It's basically, sorry, sa re ga pa. Okay. Sa re ga pa da sa dha pa ga re sa. So you can see the mood of this. It's giving you energy. It's giving you positive vibes. It's talking when just the sun has rose, and it's like. And if you check the compositions in this rag, you'll often see it will be mostly about asking you to get up or birds singing in the morning. So this rag gets like, so based on time you have, that's basically how they classify them in time. And another example is basically Shuddh Sarang. So Shuddh Sarang is basically it is sung in generally in afternoon because it gives you that warmth kind of feeling. So in that sense, it's generally sung in afternoon. And there are some seasonal ragas as well. One of example for seasonal raga is Malhar, which is a very beautiful rag. I'll just try to demonstrate Malhar in front of you. Re ma re sa ma re pa ma pa ni da ni sa pa ga ga ma re sa. So if you check up with the compositions in this raga, they often talk about rain. And what this raga does, when you sing this rag, there are often instances where like when Pandit Tansen is singing Malhar, like it used to rain a lot. Like so that was one story as well. So this rag is often associated with that feeling when there is rain. So I'll just give an example. So a bandish in Malhar, bandish is basically composition. Bola re pape hara, bola re pape hara, ab gan garje, hey, bola re pape hara. So it's talking about papiha, which is basically a koyal, cuckoo, which is singing, and ghana garaje, which is basically thunders colliding and the huge sound. So this is basically a time classification as well. You might have heard a song from there's a late one series called Bandish Bandits. You might have heard a song from there in Malhar, which is Garaj Garaj, which has become very popular when it was released. So that's also Malhar. That's basically sung in when there is a lot of rain. So this is one kind of classification. Then next system is based on rasa. Okay, what you might have heard about Navarasas. So Navarasa, rasas are basically Shringaram, Hasya, Raudra, Karuna, Bivatsa, Bhayanaka, Veeram, Adbhutam, Shantam, and so these are Navarasas, right? So you can classify a raga based on emotion it gives, like based on kind of emotion it makes you feel. Okay, so I'll give an example on this. There is a raga called Asavari, which is often related to a sad feeling. I'll just sing a bandish out of that. You can relate that it's very sad. Are mana samaj pag dhariye, are mana samaj pag dhariye, are man ऐसा जग में नहीं अपना कोई, पर छाई सो धैर्य, अरे मना समझ पग धरिए. So you can see the lyrics as well, where it's telling about people to not judge, not believe as well. So it's a very sorrow. So this based on this kind of feeling, we can classify this raga as raga Asavari as it's a very sad one. And you have and another example is Yaman. Yaman is often called king of romance. There I can find so many songs, romantic songs on Yaman in Bollywood, where it's purely based on Yaman. Many love songs based on. So Yaman tend to give that feeling of love. When that Tivra Madhyam on the Yaman, so it is generally associated with feeling of love. So this is how you classify ragas based on the rasam. But sometimes there are limitations for this classification as well. Sometimes you can associate a one raga with different rasa as well. For example, Rag Durga. Rag Durga goes like this. Sare ma pa dha sa da pa ma re sa. So there is a bhajan which goes like this. Devi bhajo Durga. So here it kind of tells about devotion to Devi. While you can have heard this raga in terms of Veeram as well. Often associated with Veera Rasa as well. So this is one kind of classification. Okay, I'll move on to next kind of classification, which is Raga Ragini system. So what this Raga Ragini system is, we often classify ragas as we generally associate ragas with positive masculine and feminine energies. Okay, so you might find some different info about that, as there are 6 male ragas: Bhairav, Malkaun, Sindol. I have when I was researching about that, I have checked as well. So I didn't find that appropriate because so there were the main 5 ragas were Bhairav, Malkaun, Hindola, Deepak, Shri, Megha. So you can see there is a lot of mixture from different raga, different as well, but there aren't certain boundaries. So when I approached my guru about this, so what he suggested me is, so Raga Ragini system was prevalent and is prevalent from olden days, because in nature there is always a masculine energy and feminine energy. There may be a difference in the amount of energy one person have, but there is always a kind of something like masculine and feminine energy. I'll just demonstrate 2 ragas which are very similar and their notes are mostly similar, but they tend to often show that masculine and feminine energy. Before moving into this one, I'll just talk about Vadis and Samvadis of Raga. I just forgot that to mention. Okay, so what Vadi and Samvadi does is, Vadi is called a keynote in a raga, while Samvadi is called a second keynote in a raga. Why are there such kind of notes? This is often because the ragas, as I said, are associated with these key phrases or chalan or pakar. They are called as pakar basically. So when singing these kind of things, you often tend to hold a note and then move around, and these are called Vadi and Samvadi because like Vadi, you might have a word called Vad Vivad, so like so Vad Samvad or Vad Samvad as well. Sorry. So Vad Samvad means one person is talking and other person is replying back, right? So I'll tell you how this works. Okay. I'll give a small. Okay. Sorry. My net went. Sorry. Current went. 1 minute. I'll just plug in. Yep. It's back. Okay. So I'll give an example in Rag Bhoop. In Rag Bhoop, the swara G and Dha. G is said to be Vadi and Dha is said to be Samvadi. Okay, I'll show you why. Bhoop is basically pentatonic rag. Sa re ga sa re ga sa re ga pa da sa da pa ga re sa. So when I sing this raga in Alap, sa re ga ga re da sa pa da sa re ga sa ga re da re sa. So you can often notice that when I'm singing, I used to stand on G and like touch that G and the more, and while I'm singing Re, I used to slide and go to the Sa Ga Re Da. So I used to sit at G and the more, and then used to sing Sa Ga Re Da. So I'm not giving much weight on Re here. So this is the concept of Ga and Da, because there are chalans in the rag. So these Vadi and Samvadi support that chalan, and it kind of gives structure to the rag. Like if you have any doubts, you can tell me on that in this. Let's make like discussion as well. Yeah, coming back to the Raga Ragini, I was giving an example, right? I'll just give an example. Which is there are two ragas called Todi, which is Miyaki Todi, and Gurjari Todi. These ragas are very similar, but I'll tell you the key difference. These are notes. I'll demonstrate it. I'll first demonstrate you Miyaki Todi. Sa ni re sa re ga re sa ni da ni sa re ni sa re ga ma da ni sa ni da pa ma pa dha pa pa ma ga re sa. So you can see there is a lot of vatsalya or that compassion in this kind of notes. So I'll give an example as well. Langar ka kariye jina maro, langar ka kariye jina maro. So you can see the that feminine energy in this rag. Okay, so the thing is, in the Miyaki Todi, you have certain notes, and while coming back, you have pancham in this rag. Sa ni da pa ma pa dha ma ga re sa. So when this pancham is omitted, you will get Gurjari Todi basically. That's the only difference between Miyaki Todi and Gurjari Todi. But I'll just show you what difference that it makes in the chalan of rag. Sa re ga ma dha ni sa ni ga ma ga re sa re sa ni dha ni sa re ga re sa re sa. So you can see that masculine sort of energy while it's coming back. Sa ni dha ni dha ma ga re sa re sa ni sa. So there is a song in Bandish in this as well. I'll just demonstrate you that and then show you the presence of masculine energy in this rag. बोर भई तोरी बाट तकत पिया बोर भई तोरी बाट तकत पिया नैन अलसाए निभाए नैन अलसाए निभाए सागर रैन का जाई बोर भई तोरी बाट तकत पिया. So you can see this rag, this Gujri Todi rag has that dominance kind of, or it has that masculine energy kind of thing. While when I sang that Langar ka kariye, where it has more of compassion and all the stuff. So this is kind of Raga Ragini system prevalent. And yeah, so this is what are my opinions on Raga Ragini system present. Coming to the very prevalent kind of classification, which is done by V.N. Bhatkande. V.N. Bhatkande is very popular for making the notation systems for Hindustani classical system, like in general like system. So what his intentions was mainly were like he wanted to make a proper theory kind of, or syllabus kind of stuff, or like theory kind of stuff for the to write, because there weren't any proper literature on why a raga is like this, or how do you define all this stuff. So when he wanted to do that, he gave a system called as Thought system. This is very similar to kind of major modes. I'll come to that as well, because he mainly wanted to give a proper structure to the system, which was more of a oral tradition rather than scripted proper mathematical. It was actually, when you see the systems of both Hindustani and Carnatic, they are very mathematical as well. But since they were just passed on tradition by tradition, just orally, there weren't much scripture literature on that. So Bhatkande was the first person who made notations and all this stuff. Coming back to this, so Vishnu Narayan Bhatkande, he did what he did was he created 10 thoughts. Okay, so he created 10 thoughts, and he made all the other ragas fall into those thought kind of distribution. I'll just tell you how this works. Basically, we have 10 thoughts named Bilawal, Kalyan, Kamas, Kafi, Asavari. I know it's a bit tough to remember all the stuff while just saying, but no need to remember that. You can check these kind of things. You just have to know the keywords, and you can anyways Google search them and get to know about these names. So the main 10 were Bilawal, Kalyan, Kamas, Kafi, Asavari, Bhairavi, Bhairav, Purvi, Todi, and Marwa. And please note, these are not ragas; these are thoughts. There are I'll tell you the difference between thoughts and ragas as well. Okay, so what Bilawal is? So what is Bilawal? Bilawal is anything which has only Shuddh notes, or like pure notes, not in their flats or sharps, all those kind of things. So like in terms of Hindustani classical music, it's basically Komal and Tivra. So Re, Swaras Re, Ga, Dhani have their so they are like Shudre, and the alternate form is in like with some frequency below that, so it's called Komal or flat. But Ma in its has a Shuddh form, and its variation is in its frequency is like bit higher, so it's called Tivra or sharp. So coming back to the classification of Bilawal, so Bilawal has all ragas which has classifications which has only pure set of swaras, Shuddha swaras, they fall under Bilawal. So Thaat Bilawal goes like this. So if someone knows, like, the modes in Western scales, this is exactly Ionian scale. C D E F G A B C. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. So this is Bilawal. So anything, as I showed you the Rag Durga, which is sa re ma pa da sa da pa ma re sa. This falls under Bilawal. Okay. Then comes Kalyan Thaat. So Kalyan Thaat is basically for all the ragas which has Tivra Madhyam, or I'll demonstrate as you as well. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. So this is basically structure of Kalyan. One of the familiar ragas in Kalyan Thaat is Yaman. I just showed you Yaman. So this is Kalyan Thaat, and other examples are Hamir, Kedar, and all those stuff. Then Kalyan is very similar to Lydian mode. So Lydian also has, like, if you're starting from C, D, it has F sharp. So so that's very similar to Lydian mode. Coming to Kamas has variations in Nishad, or so it only has Komal Nishad, or it is associated with all the ragas which has Shuddh Nishad and Komal Nishad, both of them. It goes like this. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. So one of ragas which is falls under Kamas, that is this. You might have heard this. Sa ni re बीत जात बरखा रुत सजान नहीं आए. Nizare ma pa ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Our national anthem, not national anthem, sorry. Vande Mataram is in this. So that's associated with Thaat Kamas. Then this Kamas is basically it's similar to Mixolydian in the major scale. Okay. So coming back to the next Thaat. So next one is Kafi Thaat. Kafi Thaat has basically variations in Ga and Ni. So it has Komal Gandhar and Komal Nishad, and all other stuff are Shuddh. So it basically goes like sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. So this is Thaat Kafi. Few examples are the Rag Kafi itself. The Rag Kafi goes like sa re re ga ga ma pa da ni da pa aj khelu sham sang holi. Other examples are Bhageshri and Dimpalas. We have heard Bhageshri is sa ni sa ga ma da ni sa ni da ma pa da ga re ni sa. You can see the ga and nishad, these are in the Komal swaras. Yeah. One more thing in Bhageshri is that you can observe. I'll sing that again. Ni sa ga ma da ni sa. It doesn't have pa in the ascending, but sa ni da ma. It after that it directly jumps to ma. Then it goes to pa. So it isn't like da pa ma. It's like sa ni da ma pa da ma da. So that usage, or that kind of ma pa da. So going up and coming back, it's a crooked, taking the swara, crooked way. So it's called as Vikrita swaras. So it's not sung straight. Sa ni da ma pa da ma ga re ni sa. So this is example for Vikrita swara. Yeah, and I was talking about Kafi. Kafi is very similar to Dorian scale in Dorian mode in major scale. Okay. So Kafi has, so I see, I'm also telling in a wise as well, Bilawal has only Shuddh, then Kalyan, only one change, Tivra Madhyam. Kama is also one change, only Nishad. Then Kafi, which has Nishad and Gandhar. Okay. The next one is Asavari Thaat, okay, which has Ga, Ni, and Dha in their variant form or Komal form. So it goes like this. Sa ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma da re sa. So a few examples for ragas in this case is Rag Asavari. Rag Asavari doesn't go like this. It's sa ma pa dha sa. So the concept of rag is basically that bound. So tat is basically, it's just scales, like it's just basically notes present in that. So tat is like for example, if tat has a certain kind of notes, it's not necessary that rag also have the same set of notes. Okay, so I'll just give an example. Few examples are Jivanpuri and Darbari Kannada. I'll come to Darbari Kannada as well. So this Asavari is very similar to Aeolian scale, Aeolian mode in C scale, major scale. So Bilawal, plain Shuddh, Kalyan Tivra Madhyam, Kamash Komal Nishad, then Kafi Ga and Ni, then Asavari Ga Dha Ni. Okay, let's move to the next one, which is called Bhairavi. Bhairavi has the Re Gha Da Ni, or like with Ga Dha Ni, you also have a Re Komal. So this gives you a very it's feel of renunciation. That's why the rag Bhairavi is sang mostly at the end of every concert of Hindustani. It goes like this. So this is the way how Rag Bhairavi moves. Few other examples are Rag Malcounts. Saga Madhani. Sorry. Saga Madhani Zazani Dhamma Sa. Saga Madhani Zazani Dhamma Zani Sa. So you might have heard many songs in Malcounts as well. So that's another famous rag associated with Thaat Bhairavi. Okay, so Bhairavi is very familiar to Phrygian mode in major scale. So I have given you, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 similarities as well. The Locrian mode in the major scale doesn't match with any of the thoughts present in the Hindustani classical music. So you might have known now, why this is very similar, because Bhatkande usually wanted to know the scripture or literature or the notations or the theory. He wanted to show that to the entire world. Okay, so next one of the example is Bhairav. Thaat Bhairav has all Shuddh, except that it's Rishabh and Dhaivat are in the Komal form. So I have given an example of Bibas. Bibas is also part of Bhairav. Bhairav goes like this. Jago Mohan Pyare Tum. So it's a kind of morning kind of rag. Example for this is Ahir Bhairav, which you might have heard in many. Ahir Bhairav has instead of the, it has ni. So which is you might have heard of. So this is a song which is of Raga Ahir Bhairav, which belongs to Thaat of Bhairav. Yeah. So next one is, I'll just quickly finish this. So next one is Purvi. Purvi is like Re. It has a Komal Rishabh, Komal Dhaivat, and Tivra Madhyam. It goes like this. So one of the rag associated with this Purvi Thaat is Puryadanashri, which is also very famous rag. You might have heard songs associated with this as well, which is Hai Ramaya Kya Ho, and in Bollywood songs like so much stuff. The how the Puryadanashri movie is Ni Re Ga Ma Da Ni Za Sa Ni Da Pa Ma Ga Ma Re Ga Ma Ga Re Sa. So it brings that kind of royal feel to that rag. So this is Purvi Tat. Thodi, I think I have demonstrated again. I won't demonstrate it. I'll just tell you the notes which are different from that. Thodi has Rishabh, Gandhar, Daivat, which are in its Komal form, and Madhyam in its Tivra form. So Sare Ga Ma Da Ni Za Sa Ni Da Ma Ga Re Sa Re Ni Sa. So this is Thodi. A few rags associated with Thodi. That is basically Thodi itself. Then Madhuvanti, it's an afternoon rag. Then Marva. Marva is basically has Rishabh in Komal form and Madhyam in its Tivra form. So Marva goes like this. I'll just finish this. Sa re ga ma pa da pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. So you might have heard a song which is from the Bandish Bandits, which is of Viraha, which is called as Viraha. Yeri sakhi main ang ang aj rang dar go. So this is of rag. This is Rag Marwa associated with Thaat Marwa, and it some other ragas are Sohani and Purvi, Sohani and Purya. So this is basically Thaat kind of classification in the all the Hindustani system. This was a bit boring. Yeah, this is like basic theory stuff, so it kind of tends to go boring. But it's generally these are generally things while we learn when we are singing or when we are learning a Hindustani stuff. Because once you get to know which a raga, like once when I'm teaching you a raga, so like it'll be great if. Okay, thank you. So once you are starting to learn a raga, so when you know a thought of it, or when you know these characteristics, basically if it's how many notes are there, what time do you sing, what emotions do you need to bring in, and what are these wadi and samadhi, and so what is the thought. And if you know, if you know it's like masculine energy or feminine energy. So if you know these kind of stuff, it will be very easy to understand the core core chalan, or how does the raga move. So that will help to sing any song in not only in classical, like even in Bollywood. Most of Bollywood songs, the mainly based on you can ask if you just check any the process of making. Most of people use ragas, or basically a chord progression as a base, and then construct a whole song based on that. So it will be so if you if you know about ragas, thoughts, and all these things, so this will help you to know the structure of the whole song, or you can it'll help you to navigate through the whole song. So that's very useful insight of using thoughts. So these are the main kind of classifications. Okay, so then informal ways are basically like you can say a raga is of Purvang or Uttarang. Purvang is basically like first four notes, sa re ga ma pa. So these just notes, sa re ga ma, these are like Purvang part. So if a raga is mainly sung in the first few notes, it's called Purvang, and if it's sung in a higher kind of notes, it's called Uttarang. Okay, I'll give you one demonstration about three ragas, which are Puriya, Marva, and Sohani. The notes of these raga ditto it exact. Okay, so the one thing which differentiate these ragas are the emotions which they are sung on, and the notes which they are sung on. Okay, the rag Marwa. Marwa is generally when if you are learning Hindustani classical music, and if your guru is teaching you Marwa, so he will tell you to to sit, or to hold your note when it comes to dha and dhaivat and rishabh. Okay, so it goes like this: sa, sa re ga ma pa da pa dha ni sa, sa ni da pa ma ga ma ga re sa, ga ni re sa, ga ma dha, sa ni re sa, sa ni dha ma ga ma ga re, ga ni re sa. So once you know the how Marwa moves, so you can easily sing the ragas, songs or ragas which are associated with Marwa. So when I gave an example of that Virha song from Bandish Bandits, it goes like this. तेरी सखी में अंग अंग आज रंग डाल दूं. So if you understand Marwa, how it moves, it's basically like ga ni re sa, ga ma dha ma ga re, ni re sa. So when you understand how Marwa moves, you will understand how a particular song associated with it with Marwa as well. So this had the re, the ni re. So it was most of in the Purvang part. Okay. But when you come to Sohani, which is more of Chanchal, or which is more of a Chanchal kind of rag. So when you're singing Sohani, it will be like Gamadani sa re sa ni da ni ga re sa re ni da ma ga, Gamadani sa re sa. So this is how Sohani moves. The notes which I was singing in Marwa and Sohani are exactly same, but the feeling which Sohani gave is totally different. Bhola na pavo sajanwa. So this is how the Sohani, it has so much of restlessness. So even though the notes are same, so these ragas are completely different. So this is also kind of classification while we used to differentiate ragas. And the last informal kind of classification is basically telling whether it's a Chalanatmaka raga or not. So what is Chalanatmaka raga? When I say you about a raga, like I said you that Chalan is very important. For in Rag Bhu, which I said, sa re ga pa da sa da ba ga re sa re da sa. So I can move however I want in those 5 scales. Okay, but in Chalanatmak ragas, you are not allowed to do so. There are particular key phrases which you have to follow. For example, I gave you an example of Malhar. I'll show you that again. Sa re ma re sa ma re pa ma pa ni da ni sa. So you are supposed to do re ma re sa ma pa ni da ni sa sa pa ga. So these are very key phrases of that rag. So if you go out of that, it won't seem that it's Malhar. So Chalanatmak ragas are basically so you will find different sort of ragas. Even like for example, the Marwa and Sohani, it had a difference in their chalan. So Marwa had to sit on dha and dhaivat and rishabh, while Sohani was it was mainly holding its note on shaj, or like sa, or basically bass note. So in similar way, there is another rag called Tilak Kamod. So which is very which is also a kind of Chalanatmak rag. It goes like this. Okay. Yeah. Sa pa ni sa re ga sa re ma pa da ma pa sa pa dha ma ga Sare ga sa ni pani sare ga sa. So this pani sare ga sa, this is a key phrase of Tilak Kamud. So if you don't use this, then this the any changes in the, you know, if you're singing a song which doesn't have this, then you can't classify that as, you know, Tilak Kamud. So yeah, these were the, you know, classification on ragas. I exceeded my time as well. So yep. So thank you for attending. I'm open to questions now. Like if you can open your video, or at least like if you have any feedback or questions, then it'd be great.
Yeah, thanks, Rohan. It was an amazing presentation, like really informative, and yeah, you're a great singer as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to know is, yeah, you were using some instrument for playing the.
That's basically my phone. I have a keyboard.
Harp.
It's basically Walk Lab. Oh, I don't wait. I'll just check the name again.
What's it called
It's
again?
it's Walk Band. It's
Okay,
Walk
okay.
Band. It's called. It's basically, it has keyboards. It has all other things as well. It has keyboard. Sorry, it has ads as well. So yeah. So it has keyboards, drums. You can play drums in here as well. Like just for reference, you can't play exactly drum. Like it has like this. So if you change that, it will change. It's a nice app. So I used to carry this like whenever I have time, because it has because if, like, for example, now today, like, it's very tough to switch between two different thoughts, because one, if when you start singing a thought, it carries its own emotions, but when it suddenly switch to another, its emotions will be different, and the way it moves is different. So so you generally need something like this, so I can refer to, and then, so yeah, this was a Walkman.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Venkat bro, you wanted to ask anything?
No. I raised my hand by mistake. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I had nothing to ask.
Thank you. So anyone else? You can have. Hey bro.
Good session, Rohan. Like I got fairly confused in between because I don't know much music theory myself.
Yeah. So like,
But then, yeah, once you started mentioning which mode and the thought, that made a lot of sense.
Yeah. So that's the, you know, that's why, you know, like now it's like distributed kind of systems. Otherwise, like before, there used to be Gharana systems, where, you know, like there's Jaipur Gharana, Lucknow Gharana. So their teachers used to teach, and it went on like that. So after he started making these systems, no, so like you can, like, since there are notations, and if there all those written material, so if I know, like, if how thought moves, then I can just play in keyboard, and I can play with all those stuff. Yeah, so that's how, you know, it evolved basically. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for joining again. This is like a bit confusing again, but yeah, I think like you can ping me so that I can, you know, send. I have this on my this thing. I'll share it anyways. Like share. I'll share. I have made a copy link. I just made, you know, notes for this session. So you can refer to that. I'll write. Yeah. Any other questions?
It was an interesting session, bro. I have no questions, but yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah. Thank you. May I know who is this? Like.
Raghavendra.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you. Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. If anyone want to give any feedback.
That was amazing, Rohan. So I wanted to ask how many years of practice you had.
Practice. Okay. See, this you know, classical music require a lot of practice and time. That's why, you know, most of people, you know, fail. What my mother used to learn classical music, so I just picked out from her. Like formal training, maybe 3-4 years. formal training like only 3-4 years, but my mother used to like sing, like she has to go to classes and she used to sing. So I catched up from her, and so I know this many stuff. Yeah, that's it. Like for a professional singer, it, like for example, at least 10-11 years, because you can see like people who start at very early age, they like you can like most of singers who are great, who has very great hold on their music are, most of them either have like their parents in music, or they have taken so much of years. So I have heard this quote called music is of second generation, which sounded very apt for me, because like if you have a person in your family, or if your father or mother who are interested in music, then you tend to catch up on them fast. So yeah, main thing is you require
That's
time
true.
and yes, yeah, that's it. Thanks Hema Darshini, thanks for joining the session as well. I hope you got few points at least. Like I went into very technical when I started thoughts and all. So yeah. These sessions will be held, very often. Oh, thank you. Yeah, these sessions will be held often. So if you guys wanna, make give a talk, give a lecture demonstration as well, please do tell us. And it will be great to have everyone. Like for example, we can have one session on basics of violin, or basics of any Indian tabla, or any Indian instrument as such, or if you know any of art forms, paintings, or if you know how Indian, like any Madhubani, or if you know Madhubani, or all those stuff, like you can have a session on that. How does art form? How did art form evolve, and how is its status now, and all the stuff. Yep. So yeah, if you don't have any doubts, I think you can drop off the call, I guess. Yeah.
Just one second.